record, see what happens. Okay, the ambiguous, let's just talk about it. We don't have any questions we're going to solve. So this is when I have an SSA and it can create problems. Okay. So this is when I give you a side over here, and an angle here. There's three things that could happen. Actually, there's kind of four. This side could be so short that it is not going to make a triangle. So the opposite side could be shorter. So what do you think? Give me a number that might not work. What could this be that's not going to work out? Like a 4, right? A 4 is probably not going to reach. If I did this, 4 over sine 30 equals 12 over sine B, what do you think is going to happen on my calculator? If I did this on my calculator, what do you think is going to happen to match that situation? It's going to say error. Okay? So if you try to do sine law and it's becoming an error, this is why. It's saying, hey, it's too short, it's not possible. Okay, then we might have the opposite side is shorter than the adjacent. So this first case was too short. Maybe we'll call this a little bit shorter. So something like 11 or 10. What would it look like if my opposite side was 10? Do you remember that 10 could swing around? 10 could touch twice. So if your opposite is shorter than your adjacent, and you did this, you would get an actual angle. Do you remember that? If it's shorter, you have to test. Is it too short, or is it going to make no triangles? Or is it just a little bit shorter and then it will make 2 triangles? Okay, if the opposite side is longer, so remember imagining something longer than 12, what's going to happen? It's going to form 1 triangle instantly. You don't have to test anything. So if that's like 15, there's only, looking right here, it's going to swing past, there's only going to be 1 triangle that forms. So we don't even have to test it out. Okay? There might be an example in the exam where I say solve for a 2 triangle thing. Okay, so if you were to ever solve that, so you do your sine law, 10 over sine 30 equals 12 over some sine angle. You don't need to do this, just watch it maybe. Okay, I get 36.9 degrees. Where does that go? Do you remember? It goes across from the 12. But look, I have two angles across from the 12. So obviously they're both not that angle. Do you remember that it could be 36.9 degrees or something else? Do you remember how to get this one? What's the other option? The supplementary. So what's the supplementary of it? You always are going to have an acute option and an obtuse option. So this one is the acute and this one is the obtuse option. Okay, so that's the big deal. These are supplementary with each other. Okay? You would have to finish this triangle out. We're not going to finish it, but 30, 36.9, and some angle at the top, and then the third side. That's what you're trying to eventually get. So what is my triangle? 12, 10, and what's the third side? And the other triangle would be 12, 10, and that third side. And it's all about figuring out the missing angles and then doing another sine law pair. Okay, so that's the ambiguous.